Parikshit was the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara and the grandson of Arjuna. The story related to the birth of Parikshit is described in the Sauptic Parva, that is the 10th of the 18th books of the Mahabharata. It is one of the most dramatic and tragic episodes in the epic, as it shows the consequences of the war and the moral dilemma of the characters. While Uttara was carrying him in her womb, when Abhimanyu was cruelly and unfairly slain by the Kauravas in the Kurukshetra battle, towards the conclusion of the war, Ashwatthama swore to Duryodhan that he would decimate the entire Pandav race to avenge the killing of the Kauravas by the Pandavas. While he managed to kill Draupadi's all five sons, he targeted the child in the womb of Uttara, the lone survivor of the Pandava clan besides the five Pandavas, with his Brahmashirastra. Krishna, the maternal uncle of Abhimanyu, intervened and blocked the weapon with his Sudarshan Chakra. As per another version, the Brahmashirastra had caused damage to the baby in the womb of Uttara, but Krishna revived the stillborn baby. He was named Vishnurata, the one who was protected by Lord Vishnu. As per another version, he was named Parikshit, since the child has been tested in the womb itself. Upon the commencement of the Kaliyuga, Krishna departed to his heavenly abode. Yudhisthira, along with his other brothers and Draupadi, decided to retire in the forest after crowning the young Parikshit as the king, the only surviving member of the Pandav clan. Once, when King Parikshit was returning to his capital, he saw a bull standing with only one leg and a cow standing nearby, gazing at him and talking to each other like human beings. As they were conversing, Kaliyug came there as a Shudra and started beating them very badly. The king, who was watching all this from a distance, could not bear to see this unsavory episode and immediately came to the rescue of the bull. He wanted to know who the bull and the cow were. He was told that the Dharma is standing in front of him as a bull, and the earth had taken the form of a cow, both of whom were deeply hurt by the arrival of Kaliyug. The king assured both of them that he would kill Kaliyug and then raised his sword to do so. A trembling Kaliyug started praying for his protection and fell at his feet. Taking pity, King declared that his kingdom is the abode of truth and asked Kaliyug to leave his kingdom at once. Kaliyug was not to be deterred so fast and sought a sanctuary, a safe place for its living. The king said that Kaliyug can reside at places where the four sinful acts, visually, gambling, alcoholism, prostitution, and violence are being practiced. Not satisfied with staying in these four places, he asked for some more places where he could stay. The king added places where gold or wealth are stored. Kaliyug was biding his time and waiting for a chance to enter the palace of Parikshit. Kaliyug entered the crown of Parikshit, which was made up of gold. The king, unaware of this, decided to go hunting and went towards the forest. Chasing the deers in the forest, he went deep into the forest and lost his way. He was tired, hungry, and thirsty. In this pitiable condition, the king entered into Sage Shamika's ashram, but found the sage in deep meditation. He bowed to him several times and sought for some drinking water. However, when there was no response, an angry and upset king took a dead snake and placed it around the sage's neck. Later, when Shringi, the sage's son, returned to the ashram and saw the dead snake around his father's neck, he cursed the person who placed it to die of a snake bite on the seventh day. When his father came out of his meditation, Shringi informed his father about the curse. Sage Shamik chided his son for not observing restraint while cursing the king. He pointed out that the king is considered as a protector of all the sages. This enabled them to perform the penances peacefully. The sage then sent one of his disciples to the king to apprise him about the curse. When the king heard about the curse on him, being a devotee of Lord Vishnu, he had full faith in the Lord. He immediately gave up his royal duties and appointed his son, Janmeja, as the next king and went to the banks of the Ganges. Hearing about this, many great saints converged at the holy spot, including Sage Shuk, who was the son of Vedvyas. Parikshit accepted him as his spiritual master and requested him to narrate the transcendental, glorious pastimes of the Lord for the next 7 days, since he had no time to waste. Shuk smiled and commenced his discourse with the story of a king, Khatwang, who had only 48 minutes to live, as narrated in the story of Khatwang. He then began a discourse on Bhagavad Puran. As days went by, he told the sage that he was no longer frightened of being bitten to the death by a snake, since he had learned that his true nature is nothing but Brahm. On the seventh day, a Brahmin named Kashyap decided to save the king from the snake bite, so as to earn the goodwill of the king. On the way, he was intercepted by Takshak. After ascertaining the intention of Kashyap, the serpent revealed his identity and challenged to demonstrate his power. Takshak then bit a banyan tree. The poison released by the snake blazed like a fire and burnt the tree to ashes. He then challenged the Brahmin to bring it back to life, which he could do successfully. It is believed that he got the power of reviving life by listening to Garuda Puran. Convinced of the ability of the Brahmin, Takshak asked the motivation for saving the king's life. When told that he was doing so to earn wealth from the king, Takshak offered to give him more wealth than he could hope to get from the king. Kashyap then used his spiritual powers and learned that the king's lifespan was coming to the end. So he gladly accepted the wealth offered and went away. Takshak then took the form of a small worm and penetrated one of the fruits which was to be eaten by Parikshit at the end of the day. When the unsuspecting king was offered the fruit and was about to eat it, he observed a small worm coming out of the fruit. In no time, Takshak took his original form and bit Parikshit. Since Parikshit focused his entire attention on Lord Vishnu during his last moments, he attained salvation. The place where Sage Shuk narrated the divine story of Bhagavad Puran to Parikshit is Sukratal, a small town located near Muzaffarnagar in Uttar Pradesh. Thank you for watching the video.